Topwater is one of the most exciting ways to bass fish. East Texas is the site of today's lesson, as Larry uses a small floating Mystic Minnow while searching for largemouth in Mystic Topwater Fishing.
Yeah, oh, you little bitty outfit. You little old bitty thing. Couldn't stand that little minnow. Go out there and tell your mama to come see me. Boy, I like it when they bite that thing on top. Now let them pull your bobber under, Larry. How did that fish miss that thing? I mean, he come just plumb out of the water. I think I'm a little bit overeager this morning. You know, that's one of the hard things about topwater fishing. And everybody has that problem until you fish it a day or two, you want to jerk. Just as soon as one gets it. And I jerked too fast on that fish and he come right back and got it. Finally. That is a good fish too. A good fish. Now see, you got that topwater bait. You want that little old limber rod. Here it comes. That is a good, got his lips pinned shut. I'm gonna have to belly land him. Come on. You belly land them when you can't get your fingers in their mouth. That's one of my favorite baits, that little minnow plug. Because it looks so real. I mean, they just can't stand that thing. When they're up shallow like that, right up in that shallow grass, boy, you can't beat a minnow bait. You can do so many different things with that little old bait. You can twitch him, make him dawdle, give him little fast pops and make him look excited. And if you get that rod tip just right and get the body just right, you can even make him pop every now and then. Do a lot of different things with a minnow plug. That's why it is so effective. That little Mystic Minnow, boy, it's got a beautiful finish on it. I think the most important thing in fishing is to learn to catch lots of fish, catch numbers of fish. Because there's so many days in bass fishing when big fish don't bite, and if you catch a limit of little fish every day, that just makes for a better trip. I'm gonna try something else here just a minute, folks. Every now and then, when they're not eating it right, either your bait is too big, or it could be the wrong color. Now look at that little teeny thing. Now that little Mystic Minnow is a killer. When they get to feeding on little bitty bait, that could be the answer now. In the fall of the year, I've seen them many a times get to feeding on them little old teeny shad, boy, and you fish all around them and you can't catch them for nothing. And you better carry them little bitty lures with you. It scares me to death when a big old bass gets on my little bitty plug, because this thing has got the teeniest little hooks. But if I don't get him to bite that bigger lure, I can't land him anyway, so you might as well try it. I'm gonna tell you, that little bitty bait is a killer. Ah, you're not a very big one. But at least I caught you. See, that's the thing about it. I don't care how big they are. I just want to catch them. I feel like I've done something when I outsmart them. First cast with that little bitty minnow. Oh, shoot. There, I got him. Oh, George, he got it that time. Just took that little bit of breeze to turn them on. Good fish. That is a nice bass right there. Only had that one back hook right in the corner of his jaw. I don't know why they don't get a better grip on it than that. Yeah, maybe that little breeze picking up's what we needed. It's amazing what just a little bit of wind can do for fishing. It's one thing I've always felt like over the years. If it's real still, I could catch them real early, and then bam, they quit. And it just seems like fish just don't turn back on until that little bit of wind comes up. Just got to be patient and stay with it.
When topwater fishing in the summertime and the conditions are very still, you may catch fish only real early and late. However, if a light breeze brings a light ripple to the water, the topwater bite may just turn back on throughout the day.
I got it when I was reeling it in. Not only works on top, but it works on the retrieve too. Oh, about fell in the lake. Come here to me, that's a nice bass. Yeah, that's not a bad fish right there in that ball. Pretty universal bait. It's a topwater bait, and then when you reel it in, you're just as likely to catch one reeling it as you are working it. You never know. See, here's one of the things that a lot of times you have a lure that won't run properly. In doing battle with that fish, my little O-ring got in the hook hanger. Your lure don't run, you sure want to inspect it close and be sure that your hooks are all hanging straight and nothing is binding it. You get any pain in that O-ring or anything that restricts that hook movement, they won't work. What I normally try to do is, if I want the bait to be real buoyant, and by buoyant I mean float high on the water where I can dawdle it and pop it and twitch it and it'll quickly pop back to the surface, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm going to always use the straight minnow because it floats up a lot quicker. Now, if the water is pretty cool and these fish are just swirling at it and they won't take it, like sometimes around 58 to 60 degrees, fishing a minnow bait can be real good. And if they won't hit this bait and I want the bait to be more sluggish, that's when I'm going to go to the little mystic minnow with the broke tail. And what it does, it sits lower in the water because it's heavier, and when the fish come up to it, they don't have to break the surface of the water. There's something about breaking that surface at certain times that they just really don't like. And that's when I'm going to throw the little broken tail. It really has more action and works better at times, but there's also times when that straight minnow will outfish the broken tail. That's one of them. Bull there. Must have been a little wave. Ah, it wasn't no wave either, by George. I was just sitting here thinking about it, and I thought, well, that didn't look like a wave. That looked like a dandy bass. Don't you go around that cedar tree on me. That's dangerous, folks. Don't do that unless you're just fishing for fun. Anytime you grab that line and lift a bass over the boat, you're asking for it. And to be honest with you, right now, I don't really care because I'm playing. Isn't he pretty? No, when you get a little vegetation on that bait, I don't care whether it's moss or weeds or what it is. Thank you, big guy. Give that thing a quick jerk, and if you can't jerk it free, just go ahead and reel it in. But so much of the time when you jerk that trash off your lure, you give it that good hard yank, and you jerk that trash off, boy, a lot of times that's what triggers them into biting. Especially with a diamond shad or a minnow type plug. It's just something that's that little bit of just a quick action that jerks that stuff free of your lure and they'll hit it.
If your bait picks up some grass or vegetation, try giving the rod a quick jerk to free the grass from the bait. If this doesn't work, then reel in, clean your bait, and try again.
I sucked it under, by golly, he got it under the water and I almost didn't even know it. Whoa, that might be a jaws. Golly. Don't you get off. No. I'm giving him line to keep him from ripping loose because I'm a tree. If I put any tension on him, I'm gonna lose him. No. Look at that. Ain't that a dandy? That's one of them times if I'd have horsed that fish and kept pulling on that line, he'd have ripped right off there because all I had was one hook. I mean one little hook. But by giving him line and letting him swim around, whew, kept him from tearing loose. Boy, ain't you a dandy. I think I'll just tag you too since you're such a nice fish. That's a good one right there. Anybody'd be proud of that bass. That's a good fish. Nice bass. See you again someday, biggin. 0802, about 4 pounds on a Mystic Minnow. October the 7th. Nice fish. That also calls for a retie. And it's also funny that you can fish all over a lake and it seems like there's always one little 100-yard area where you catch your fish. I mean, that's true everywhere you go. That's why so many days we go out and we don't catch anything, so we don't ever find any place that's got any bass. Sometimes it's a technique. Now, I'll agree, sometimes it's technique. You can fish right through an area that's got a lot of bass and not catch any of them. But so many times when you know that the time of the year is right and you know that you're searching the right kind of water, it's just a matter of staying in that kind of water till you get into an area that's got bass in it. I mean, this little hole, they like this little hole. I've caught a few fish around, but something about this little area right here, probably a little draw or a little ditch or something running back in this shallow water into that grass line. But there's something that the bass like right here. Okay. And when you see that green grass, that old, I call it yard grass or field grass, that water gets up in that just means that usually tells me that the lake has been on the rise and there's going to be X amount of fish in shallow water.
In the summer, if a lake fills after a long drought, try fishing the shallow water grass along the bank. This may be productive.
Oh, he's a big one too. I mean, a good one. Come up. I barely got him. Barely got him. Thank you, big boy. I mean, I may have had him with only one hook, but it is stuck. Good fish. Good fish. Oh boy, was that ever a bite. Come out of there, good one. Look at that fish, that is a nice bass. The mystic minnow strikes again. Come here to me. Doggone you. Oh, quit it. Gotcha. That is a good bass right there. That's a good fish. I believe I'll tag this one just in case one of you lucky anglers out there catches him and calls in. You can say, I caught Larry's bass. So easy, this little Fin Pal's gun to tag them. Just pop that thing right in there. And my number is 0801. Your lucky day, big guy. We'll keep track of him and see where he goes. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson on fishing minnow baits. Remember, big minnows, medium minnows, little teeny ones for when you need them. Come back and see me again next week and I'll make you a better bass fisherman.